Whoa, circled. Here we go. Are we? We are live. All right.
Let's do
Hello,
it.
guys. Welcome to episode 25 of Drinks and Dogs. As usual, it's myself, Mike Jones, the Primal Canine. And you're not even honorary, KD. You are the co-host of Drinks and Dogs, Mr. KD Matthews over here. How is it going, sir?
It's going great. It's going great. I'm excited because as of today, I'm 7 days away from my first ever trip to California. This time, next week, I will be on the West Coast getting ready for drum roll. Yeah, the reason why.
Dude, this will be that's as your first legit time in Cali.
I've never been farther west than Nashville, Tennessee. If we're talking about the longitude, I have never been farther west than that.
Oh shit! Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah, it'll be really cool. Paula's because we're gonna San Diego, Paula, California, where North County's at. It's a nice little area. It's not as, from what I've been the past few times we traveled up there, just from the people I've talked to, it's not as hot as fucking balls as it's been in Gilroy over here. It's been pretty gnarly, but in Paula's been a little bit cooler. Plus, just the venue and everything we're gonna be at to be pretty rad as well.
Yeah. So I wish I could stay longer. I'm going to be out there. So I get in on Friday in the morning and I leave Tuesday in the afternoon. So okay. I wish I could stay longer. I have a list of clients I somehow have to squeeze in on Monday. And because I've never been out there, I have a lot of clients in the Canine Blueprint in California. So they're all like, what's your schedule like? And I'm like, I'll make it happen. I'll make it happen. But meanwhile, I just want to chill with everybody in California.
There you go. Oh, and here we go. Our guest,
what's up?
Mora.
How you guys doing?
Oscar?
Excellent.
Good, man. How are you?
Pretty good, man. You sick over there or what?
No, I lost my fucking wall. The story behind my voice is I've been training jiu-jitsu lately.
Getting ready for me? Are you getting ready for me, sugar?
Just recently to kind of it's like one of those things that you just do for yourself. So you're that's my time over there. So I've been training jiu-jitsu lately, and I've been training with Leopoldo, just me and him, and he fights a little dirty. So we got into it, and then I had a bite night that Tuesday night. So my throat was all fucking stomped in, and then I went and started yelling a bunch in our warehouse. So now I just sound like this. I'm losing my voice and shit, but
got it.
All is good. So actually, perfect timing. Oscar is the head judge of Canine Street League, and KD, obviously, for everybody who's been watching Drinks and Dogs, you probably have heard this many times. KD is the lead commentator for Street League. So this is kind of the warm-up show going into next week's event, the first ever Canine Street League trial. And yeah, me and Katie, we were talking about this a little bit briefly earlier, kind of recapping some things, and I was actually talking to G, the guys behind the scenes, G and Ed, the other day, and the lead up to this thing, after I was vocally saying all the shit that's been done prior to now, it's pretty fucking crazy. Next week is the first Street League trial.
Yep. Yeah, you guys move fast, man.
Yeah, that seems to be a problem of mine.
That's what she said.
Good.
But I mean, it's exciting. I mean, I think a lot of this stuff, and that's what purpose of this show. A lot of stuff's there's a lot of things happening, and the original purpose of Street League, besides the personal protection aspect of it and kind of changing dog sports and just the dogs protection sports community in general, is to provide a quality event where people are going to want to attend. It's just a fun event, interactive and all those sorts of things like that, and just bringing something new to the table and kind of thinking outside of the box with this stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped up. For as pumped up as monotone myself can be, but pretty pumped up for everyone to see, what we're bringing to the table just for the, the first event. And, I'm looking forward to, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and, expanding and making this better. I think this first event, it being number one, this is the time to see what we prepared for, what needs work. I mean, I tell everyone like that, I was like, I don't know, by no means do I expect perfection. I do expect it to be a really good event, and because we were well prepared for it, but I do expect to see things that we can make better. And I'm just, from me knowing the insides of the things that we've been working on and the stuff that we bought and built and made and prepared for this next trial, what we're bringing and setting up there, I know it's gonna be a real cool thing and a real fun thing. But I'm just excited to kind of see what we could also make better too, because we've already done this much groundwork on it. And now, like, going into it and be like, all right, cool. Like, I just want to see what's the stuff that we can, make better and make the experience even cooler. And now I'm already talking about that shit, even though we haven't even done the first one yet. But I'm just pretty excited all around just to kind of get this one rolling here.
It's going to be good.
I think that's the right mindset to have, though. The right mindset is looking at, I mean, it's been set up. You've put all the prep work in. Now there ain't nothing to it but to do it, right? Yep. So the doing it part, that's already there. The fact that you're already thinking about, how can I look at this now? What am I going to do for the next one? What am I going to change? What am I going to double down on? What are we going to collaborate on? Like, that's a great way to look at it. And I really think that a lot of what's been missing is some of that sincere desire to actually create something that everyone involved is getting value from. And value isn't always trophies. Sometimes value is appreciation. Sometimes value is a smooth run event. Sometimes value is being treated in a way that validates all the hard work you put in, whether you're a decoy, whether you're a handler. And the fact that you're already thinking about how can we make this even better and better and better, that's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, just my thoughts.
Yep, 100%.
And I'm excited. I think it's gonna be really cool stuff. So obviously, if you're just watching in on episode 25 here and you're like seeing the screen, like, what the hell are Oscar and KD and Mike talking about? To brief thing on Street League, it is, I would say, it's the dog sports, professional dog sport, or protection dog sports first professional sport. At least from my knowledge, I know PSA was tried to do professional. Do you know anything about that, Oscar? They tried to make it professional in the beginning. Lee was mentioning something like that, but I guess it didn't stick or whatever. But now we're going to do it this way, and the first trial is this coming Saturday, not this tomorrow, but the next Saturday from there at North County Canine. So since this is more of our warm-up show, Katie, what are you most excited for besides being your first trip to California? What are you most excited for the Street League event that Saturday?
I'm extremely excited to see handlers and their dogs. And while it's not necessarily unique in the sense that, well, there's KD, what do you mean? There's handlers with dogs showing up to trials all over the country, all over the world. But the thing is, the people who are involved in this, the people who have decided to come out and form clubs and train for this sport that hasn't had an event yet, that says a lot about these handlers and these clubs. It says a lot about their motivation. It says a lot about the way they're looking at this as another opportunity to do something fun and exciting. I'm excited at seeing those people on the field with their dogs.
Yeah.
That means something to me. And it's hard to rank, what are you most excited for? Because I'm also excited to see these decoys that have been getting their asses handed to them by you and your team through certifications for the past year. This is something that is really fucking special in every way, with what these decoys have been going through to reach a certain criteria and level of performance, what these handlers are getting ready to throw themselves into. And they're going to be in front of Oscar's eyes, and they're going to be just trying their best. a lot of energy, a lot of fucking energy.
I was thinking that, that's one thing you brought up too, Katie, and you kind of mentioned earlier about like the clubs and everything as well that have been popping up. And after talking to me and Oscar have been talking this week as well about like our last couple weeks about like judging and point systems and all this other stuff, because Oscar's the man with the points and like the judging and everything. I was just thinking like, dude, the balls. I mean, like, it's admirable, like the people that have signed up for this stuff. And we have 18 handler teams, and multiple clubs from different parts of the United States, coming in, driving in, flying in, people who are taking, a week off of work to come out and doing this stuff. I mean, it's fucking pretty in my mind, it's pretty admirable to see these people like, all right, cool. We've done I think that the Street League team and myself, we've done a great job of trying to explain what these scenarios are with the YouTube videos we put out, with my simple ass handbook of the entry level and all those things. And we've done a really, what I thought was a good job of doing it. But just the fact that these people who have been like, you know what, I'm just going to sign up and we're going to Paula, California, and we're going to roll the dice, and my team's, that them and their dog are ready for whatever is coming at them. And I to me, like, that's the thing now, like after going through all the steps and all the different stuff that we've done, like now, like it's that realization point where like, wow, the people that signed up on day one before we had like 2 or 3 videos out of the scenarios, like fucking, round of applause for you.
Cheers to them.
Cheers to that.
Yep.
Oscar, what about you, man? What are you pumped up for?
I'm pumped up just because, again, this is a new thing that's happening, and there's always room for the new and new ideas and all that. And I, from some of the handlers that I've seen that have put in for it, I'm excited. I think I'm not sure if Dan ended up putting in. I think that Danny from Socratic Canine KD, I think he won the America's Top Dog. He told me he was going to sign up. I don't know if he did. But anyways, we have people like that are interested in jumping in. They're not. And again, all these other sports, hey, I admire all the sports. I play in, I played in all those sports and everything. But I think this is going to be something new that we haven't seen yet. And I want to make it clear to people that are listening, like, this is entry level. It's going to be a lot harder than this. But we want to make sure that people feel welcome coming in, that they're pumped up about it, that they're excited, and everybody cheers everybody on. I think the last thing that we want to do is, form little cliques here and there. I think this is going to be something where everybody helps each other out, and we really promote this thing that's happening. And I really do. I mean, for me, the idea came from the, all the skateboarding stuff, the Street League, and how they have their competitions. And I'm really excited for this, man, with, something that involves dogs and new handlers and everything. I'm pumped up for it, man. I'm excited.
I think that's one of the, that's the thing that you touched on as well, or a couple things you touched on there, Oscar, was like, everyone's, when we're talking about like the EL, like that's why it's called entry level, the EL, is that everyone's like expecting this to be harder. It's like, this is the form, this is the starting, this is the foundation of, Street League. So we have our EL, and there's the 1s, the 2s, and the 3s. So this is only going to get more advanced, harder, more unique in its own way. So this is just the beginnings for people who read the handbook. Like, well, this is kind of easy. Well, I mean, it was meant to be kind of easy. We want to get you involved. And, touching back onto the community aspect of things, where the reason why we keep an open platform and a very transparent platform with, sending videos out directly from how we do things to everybody across the world so they can prepare. So it is a community aspect of things, to where it is competitive. There's gonna be champions and all this stuff on the team, on like the field and everything like that, but it's a healthy form of competitiveness, not a petty form of competitiveness, if that makes sense, which pettiness is a big thing in the dog world. And that's something we're trying to keep out of Street League, trying to keep it a community aspect of things, where, you have all of us like who are going to be doing this. This is trial 1, in my mind, the team stays the same to trial 100. We're coming out there, it's the same feel, it's the same community environment. We want to make dogs stronger, make teams stronger, make people better handlers, and have a variety of different outlooks, and just different people involved, but still with the overall goal of making this community better. So I mean, I think that's going to be that's one of the cool things about the street league as well, and just how the infrastructure is much different than any other dog sport as well, just on the interior that most people don't see. But I'm really, I think that's the fun thing is going to be, and Oscar, you mentioned this before, in another Drinks and Dog is like, like almost like the soccer hooligans and all the other like stuff like that. Like
man,
for like team shirts and like, because the idea, like I've told this to like the street league decoys, and we've had discussion before. It's like, my vision for the future, and I'm not even talking about 5 years. I'm talking maybe a few years here is, I'm talking like more stadium-ish events, things where, clubs. And if you look at the Street League Instagram page, because we're only on Instagram right now, I mean, there's clubs popping up. Like G can't really keep up with the design part of it and putting these clubs out there, because there's a lot of clubs popping up, and a lot of clubs. And the cool thing about the clubs we're seeing pop up they are dedicated people. They want information. They want more. They're continuously in contact, and they're looking to progress, and they want more info on Street League. And like, that's something I find that's like really fucking cool. And like, KD, you kind of touched on this earlier. It was just that general interest from people who are in different parts of the country, or like even people like that throughout the world that I've talked to, like on Instagram, like about Street League and like doing stuff. Like people like in the UK who want to like do events out there. I'm like, well, we're not there yet, but we're working on getting there, and just seeing the general interest that we've been able to achieve without even throwing a fucking event yet. Like that's like that to me is just like it's almost mind blowing in a sense, like to see like we're on the cusp of our first event. And I mean, I don't know about, I mean, Oscar, you would know too, like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't know what other sport or anything else has come into where we haven't done one event and we roughly got our decoys. We got 12 brand new Street League with a sewn on the back suit from Ray Allen, shout out to Ray Allen. And then Clatter Supply is sending a bunch of stuff, because Clatter Supplies is in the UK, sending a bunch of stuff over for the decoys for that trial specifically.
Nice.
All that stuff that's in there. So I don't know if there's anything been like that. And that's the exciting part, is almost the unknown, but the unknown of what we're getting into, but also looking at the significance and almost like what would be the proper word, Kitty? Like the size of the event without even the magnitude of the event. Yeah, the magnitude of the event. Like that's
another thing, Mike. I think that is different from from is like, like when you go to other sport trials, it's mostly people that are involved in that sport already. And I feel like this has opened up the doors for like people that have no clue about sport. It's like, everybody could come and hang out and watch and get educated. There's a lot of new people getting into this, man. So that's really exciting, mostly for the dogs. I think that, more people are going to be interested in training their dogs and doing all that. And so, yeah, man, I think that's another very exciting thing about this.
That's a really cool point too. And then KD, like, you've been talking to people about it, on the internet and like that too. I think the broadness of it and like the mass, like the mass, like herb appeal of Canine Street League. I think that's going to be really cool too. Cause I mean, you guys have all, I know Oscar, you're still actively competing. And I know KD, you've had times where you were out there doing the same thing, but like, I remember going into like the Schützen Club and being like, fuck, this is kind of intimidating.
Yeah.
Like this is kind of scary. Like
it's like watching golf. I mean, golf without Tiger Woods, how he brought this new energy to the game, like documentaries that I've watched. And I feel like that's kind of how, like, we should be a little bit like that. Like, we should bring this new energy to dog sports. And that's why we got KD, I'm sure, because he's gonna get everybody pumped up about this thing. Like, we're not gonna be just sitting there all bored, waiting, quiet. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna make this an event. So, and obviously with your team that you have over there, at Primal, you guys don't do anything half-assed. From even from the decoy seminar that you guys did down here, I was pretty impressed. So, I'm just pumped, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Well, this is there's a huge opportunity here that goes even far deeper than anything we've even said already, and we've said a lot. And the Like, for example, a lot of my clients that are out in that area, pet dog owners, you know, just from what they've seen, because they follow me, so they watch Drinks and Dogs, and, you know, they're checking it. They're like, what's this all about? And so I've been telling them, come out. They're like, oh, well, I really don't do bite sports. I'm like, I don't care. You like dogs, right? They're like, yeah. I go, you are going to see passion, enthusiasm, athleticism, training, sincerity. You are going to see things that if you like dogs are going to make you feel good. You are going to see things that are going to make you smile, that are going to make you go, oh my gosh, can I get a replay? You are going to see things you've never seen before. And I know, Mike, we've talked before, and, you know, without saying too much about things that haven't materialized yet, this is going to be more than, like you said, this is just the entry level, right? So with the amount of excitement that we're going to be able to bring, the amount of cool dog shit for people to enjoy at an inaugural first event with only an entry level, I'm already thinking about the massive exposure and opportunity for people with dogs who are looking for something to do with their dog. And maybe it's obedience. Maybe it's some freestyling. Maybe it's working the nose. Maybe it's all these things that, quite honestly, are all part of high-level dog training that for years have been compartmentalized. They've been separated from one another and really cliquey, culturally unique little mini spheres within the dog world. And, you know, you walk in, you're a newbie, you got to have a brass set to walk in there and be like, I don't care about all this. I'm here for my dog, because it might not always be welcoming. It might not always be, hey, who are you? Oh, you've never done this before? Fucking A, that's awesome. Let's show you how to do it. It isn't always like that. Yep. And to be able to come to an event, not just a trial. This is not a trial. This is an event, which allows so many more people who just love dogs and want to see dogs doing all the shit. Not all of it, because we will never allow our dogs to reach their full capability because they're so freaking awesome. But seeing dogs being pushed and handlers being pushed to do cool shit.
Yeah.
I get it next Friday. Like, I got to wait a week.
I think what I just kind of like talking to you guys and over like the last week and just preparing everything are the guys. It's the best thing, the coolest thing about this is going to be like the energy, you know, the energy of the event, because it is, you know, that's what's going to be. I mean, all the other shit that we're going to do there, everything like that. It's the energy of the event, to see it formulate. Because remember, this thing came up on a Drinks and Dogs episode, and Katie, remember, and I was with Oscar. I forgot who we were talking to, Oscar, but we were on this with something else. But I remember when I first started talking about Drinks and Dogs, and I was talking to KD about it, was like, all right, cool. You know, like the whole thought process of Drinks and Dogs, like bringing the community together to like do all this other cool shit, and look at like a year down the road, we're doing some cool shit. We're all going to be together in San Diego, California for this. So it's going to be pretty fucking rad, man. I think I just know it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be, you know, making history here. So looking forward.
Yeah, man. I ever since the beginning, I thought about it like the whole, like, you know, UFC back in the day when it started, when like a freaking 300-pound dude would fight like a freaking skinny, like you know, Gracie, whatever, and you're like, and how it was back then, and then to UFC now, you're like, holy shit, like, you know, they really built something. And I just feel like that's what this is gonna be. Like, I really feel like that's what this is gonna be. Like, this is the first one. But in a couple years, I think this is going to be something big, man. With you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be all over the place. There's going to be seminars being done, you know, with people teaching this stuff that we're going to be doing here. It's going to be cool.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. I already see it. And then watch, there'll be a commentator seminar for KD over here. KD's going to just like, I don't know if they can teach your personality though, KD. I think that's the one of
you got to be born with that.
I've already told. I had a client today. I was working their dogs, and then they're like, well, where can we find this? And this is the people watching this as well. So we have, and the guys already figured this out. So this will be streamed live, where someone will have I don't even know if they talked to you about this, Katie, yet, but
No
someone will
one's
have.
told me shit.
Oh, the guys behind there. So for everyone here who's going to be watching and want to watch the trial, you can watch this on the Instagram live, because now Instagram has those multiple angle things we can do where you can watch KD's facial expression, because that's what definitely you're going to want to watch of what's going on. And then you'll be able to see what's going on in the field. And then possibly there will be a YouTube live where it'll be the same look, but multiple things for you guys to watch on, so we see the whole thing live and people can be as interactive as possible on there. And if KD gets bored heckling anybody out there, like probably myself, because I'll be running around chicken with my head cut off, you can interact with them as well on there. So that'll be a live on Instagram live or YouTube live. And well, I mean, there's going to be a lot of cameras out there and stuff like that too. So prepare for probably some form of cursing and things like that. A lot of stuff. So if anyone wants to watch it, it'll be on it. The live versions will be on Instagram live or YouTube live, depending on which one the tech team goes with. But that'll all be announced there. And then we'll also have a post-production one and some highlight reels coming out from our media team, which if you guys have seen any of the stuff that Primal's put out or Street League or PCU, those guys are legit. So they have all that stuff on there too. Let's break down. So the way that the event's going to work this coming weekend is we're going to be starting off with the obedience section of it. The obedience, we have 18 teams that we'll be going through. Basically, whoever qualifies through the obedience will go into the protection scenarios, which will follow. We're going to run this basically boom, 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 straight through until the end. During all of these, during the trial itself, there will be an active event going on as well. So with the active event, we'll have DJs there. We have vendors coming up. We'll have food there. So there'll be a lot of things happening at the same time through the event. Obviously, there won't be anything loud and crazy going on while the dogs are trialing in obedience and everything like that. But there will be some stuff happening for people who are going. Spectating is completely free, and we invite everyone to come through. Just don't bring your dogs if you have, if Fluffy does not need to come to the party, if Fluffy can't act right, or doesn't need to come there in general, because it'll be out there with a bunch of other crazy stuff going on. But it will. I'll
call you out and I'll say, take your happy ass with Fluffy out on the field and do something if you brought him. I'll pay your entry fee.
Fair warning, KD will be voluntarily trialing dogs. So the event itself will be, it'll be a bunch of fun stuff for everyone that's coming, all walks of life. On the judge side,
hey, so can all the people watching, can they be in French ring, right? In the big French ring championships, bro? Like in France, it's like in a stadium. And it's like a lot of people there, and when the dog is going, everybody's like, "Oh," you know what I mean?
Hell yeah, that'd be sick.
Crazy and shit. Katie's got to pump people up like that, so they can be yelling when that dog's gonna go bite.
That'd be dope.
Nice.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, man. French people are crazy in the big championships for sure.
I think that'd be. I mean, for me, like I love productive crowd involvement. I think that's something that's cool, cheering on your dog, basically building teams or, fan bases around certain teams. I encourage that. I think that's going to be a great thing and a great deal for it to do. I mean, like we've talked about before with Street League, having, people wearing freaking team jerseys and
yeah, it's going to be sick.
Like that. I think that's.
We got our jerseys, bro. We got our jerseys made already.
Sick. I don't have a Primal Street League shirt yet. I got too fucking busy making the Street League stuff. I was like, I talked to my guy the other day. I was like, did we make these yet? Because I got a bunch of boxes up there. I was like, no, fuck, we didn't do that.
You know what? I'm gonna show you the one I got made, because I think if all the teams, if they were interested in something like that, I think it would be dope, man. It's like the paintballing ones. People that go paintballing.
Oh,
they have
shit.
These, and then they could put their sponsors on there or whatever. But
those are sick. Because that's all fabric, isn't it? The paintball ones.
Yeah, it's fresh too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So, on the judging side, Oscar, what are you looking for from the handlers here?
I mean, honestly, what we don't want to see in there, first of all, is going to be, you overcorrecting your dog or something like that inside. Just things that are going to make the, the sport or whatever you want to call it not look good for people that don't know about dogs. Even though we understand that sometimes, we got to put a fair correction, I think we just can't be unfair to the dog when we're in there. If you didn't train for it and you're going to be correcting the dog, overly correcting the dog, I think we're going to have, you're probably going to have to get excused. But other than that, man, I just want to see that, that relationship between the dog and handler, and, how they get along and how they could problem solve too, the handler and, the dog sometimes. I think those are things that we will be looking for. But overall, man, just the training, make sure that the training's all there. And yeah, we'll see. You're going to get judged accordingly to the points that we're going to be giving out or taking away. So.
Awesome. And then we have the handler meeting pretty much after this. So that'll be something that we'll work on as well. Let's see here. And then on the protection side, obviously both of you guys have looked at the scenarios. Is there a particular scenario that you guys are looking forward to seeing the dogs and handlers troubleshoot?
Go ahead, Katie.
Say that again. I was zoned out for a quick sec.
I know my voice can put people in a little bit of a lull here.
It's so hypnotic.
It's a voice for radio right now. So what I was saying was, like, which protection scenario were you looking forward to seeing the most, if there was one that you're looking forward to seeing the most?
Oh man, that's a tough question. I mean, I can't pick one. That's a bullshit question. Because, like, what's your favorite movie? Like, fuck you. Like, no. Like, how many total we got? I mean, like, carjackings are always freaking awesome because
that is what
they have real life application, right? So when you're looking at it, and the thing is with Canine Street League, these scenarios have had, people need to realize the amount of work you guys put in. Like the amount of smoke that was burnt of the wheels spinning and troubleshooting and trying to think of every potential outcome of a scenario. I don't think people, and it's okay that they don't, because they don't know, but the amount of work that goes into a single scenario, the time spent, the brainstorming, how could this go wrong? How could this go right? What does someone need to do in training to be able to be successful? That's what goes into these events that people need to know about. And I look forward to, on trial day, in some of the downtimes or the in-between times as someone's approaching, the field is resetting, is, being able to, Mike, if you could sit down for 5 minutes here and there, have, the two of us can have a conversation for everybody listening about what went into this scenario. Like, what's the story on this one? You guys were up till 5 a.m. Right? What's the story on how this one was birthed and how many problems there were, and making sure this was a scenario that was going to allow handlers and their dogs to really show off the work that they've put in. Like, that's what goes into every single scenario. I do like carjackings just because there's a lot of potential for real life application. But here's the thing. I've seen a lot of bullshit carjackings. I've seen a lot of carjacking scenarios, and it's like, yeah, cool, but I mean, there's a car, there's a dog, there's a decoy, but what the fuck was that? And so really looking forward to how you guys and all the work you've put in to having what people might think are familiar scenarios, see them run differently. See a decoy handle that scenario in a different way. I'm excited. That's why I kind of give you a hard time. I said, it's hard to pick one, because I'm looking forward to seeing the innovation and the work and the effort that all you guys have put in creating these scenarios to bring them to a new level, even in an entry level, let alone when this thing starts cooking and you start getting into 2s and 3s.
It's not going to be easy.
Oscar's already like, oh, man.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy.
You can thank the crackheads across the street from one of my locations at the gas station for the carjacking scenario. They were my inspiration.
Yeah, and that's another thing, man. I want people to understand, like we've already gone through this. The reason why, and to like especially to people like myself that have been doing this for a long time, like dog sports stuff. Some of these scenarios might seem like not that difficult, but if you understand like the thought behind it, I think you would appreciate it a little more. We already know what the other carjacking scenarios look like, and it's a very known picture to the dog. Well, in this one, we're going to be very consistent. We're going to show the same picture to every single dog. But at the end of the day, the whole intent behind the carjacking is like, you can't get into that car and the dog better bite. And if you open up the door and, your dog runs out and he doesn't bite, then there's a problem there. There's going to be a hole right there. So, again, this is very different than, your normal like picture that the dog's always on the window. You tell him, you alert him, you're there with him. This is the dog working on his own. And honestly, this is for the entry level. It's not going to be that hard. I guarantee you, for the 2s, 3s, this exercise is going to be very difficult. From what we've been talking already, like this isn't going to be something easy. So again, I'm excited because, man, this is the beginning of something huge, way different that we haven't seen before.
Yep.
So for me, it's the carjacking.
And remember, these are all the way that, and for everyone watching watching this right now, and if we read the scenarios, like, oh, that's easy. Remember, this is entry level. This isn't 1. This isn't 2. We've drastically throttled down. I can't tell you. We'll have this discussion probably later, in fucking Street League history. But I have a notebook here. This is I have this notebook here where I've gone through like front and back, or looks like a psychopath and Rain Man combined, where I've gone through the scenarios over and over and over and over again, drill them down, how many late nights that we've had to throttle that down, where like I've made my dogs fail over and over and over again, trying to beat them at it, and make things harder and harder and harder. And this is being nice.
Yeah. But it's good, man. I think this is what this is good for the sport, to bring people in. This is good for this, this is for this league. It's going to promote, get people wanting to get in. Once they get in, and once we show the pictures of the other things, you're going to go, oh shoot, not every bite is going to be a guy running away. Oh dang, this is, so again, this is the entry level. We're excited because, again, it's not just a trial. Like KD said, this is going to be an event. And man, we're pumped. I can't wait. Honestly, I can't wait for the other levels, because my brain's already going. Like, what are we going to change up and all that stuff?
That'd be fun, man. It's going to be cool when we start doing, events with the EL, the 1, even going into the 1, that's going to be fun. And then once we introduce, the 2s, because just for people who haven't, been watching the Drinks and Dogs or heard about Street League stuff, we've even been in talks, with Ray Allen about, making a hidden suit, a special hidden suit for Street League, the amount of muzzle work and hidden equipment and just things that we're going to be doing outside of it, but still introducing it on the entry level. So there's a lot of fun things happening. But for now, we got to focus in on event 1. Entry level 1. Registration is closed. No one can sign up anymore. We have our teams. We have a handler meeting right after this. And Katie is going to be on a plane here in a week's time. And a bunch of other people are flying in. It's the interesting thing too. I was looking at some of the registration. A lot of people, like I would say majority of the people aren't even from California. Like a lot of people are coming from different states.
That's awesome.
Not been in California, so like that's pretty fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
It's been pretty rad. I was kind of briefly going through the sign up sheet, and I was like, damn, there's not that many California residents.
Well, that hotel is going to be one hell of a good time Saturday night. Let me tell you, man. I'll let y'all know what room I'm in. Everybody.
the block of rooms, that's gonna be freaking insane.
Let us know what room are you. Let us know what room you're in, KD. We're gonna send you a little gift over there off of Craigslist.
Yeah.
You know, you won't even have to ask. All you got to do is listen to the really good time and the possible sirens.
Oh man.
Katie's not even gonna close his door. It's just gonna be open.
Be a strobe light. Smoke machine is already getting ordered on Amazon. Just saying.
It'll be delivered there. All right, guys. So I gotta wrap it up here. But first of all, thank you guys for being on Drinks and Dogs. Excited to be in with you guys both next week. Around this time, excited for the first event. Lots of fun stuff. I'm sure I'll be talking to both of you gentlemen here in the next few days. I know I'll be talking to you guys here in a little bit in general. But everyone who's watching, Drinks and Dogs right now, or who's going to watch this on YouTube after, make sure you follow KD. Where can they follow you at, KD?
At KD Matthews 1T.
There you go. And then Oscar, which page or where they can follow you out here?
At Elevated Canine Academy or at Oscar Mora Dogs.
There you go. And for us, it's at Primal Canine at PCU Online or at Street League, which is the main event that we're talking about right now. So make sure you guys go to at Canine Street League on Instagram. It will be live for the first event, the first Canine Street League event next weekend. So you can watch that live there. Plus all the information on there is on the website as well and on our YouTube page for all the scenarios. If you want to look at the handbook, make sure you go there, download it. It is free. Make sure you check it out, but there's no charge on that. And yeah, guys, looking forward to next week. So I will see you guys here relatively soon. Have a great night.
Thanks again for having me on.
All right, Kate.